How's it going? What you been up to? I know it's been a week. I know you couldn't stand it. So tell me what you've been up to. Hmm. Well, I can't really hear you, but congratulations or condolences, I guess. I guess before we get into uh thanks for watching last week's video. 600 something views. It doesn't seem like a lot in like the grand scheme of things, but definitely my most watched video on my channel, which is really fucking cool. I'm glad it outperformed my very first video, which was about MF Doom. I'm really only keeping that on there because, like, I guess it's technically, it's already there, right? It's already out there, but God, that first video kind of sucks. I didn't even show my face. I didn't do anything, but I've always been trying to improve on that. And now we're here, I guess, and it's doubled. The type B typo negative video did basically double that of my first video, so that's really cool to see. I'm finally glad I'm out of my own personal shadow of that, because I don't really like that video, and honestly, even though it's only been a couple of months, I've been thinking about just redoing that one. And we went up from like 11 to 20 subscribers with just one video, so that's really cool. Hopefully, I mean, I'm not even like halfway to 100, but I'm setting the lofty goal for myself to get to at least 1,000 by the end of the year. But I think we all know today music is very polarized right now. We live in a time where honestly most people are shitbags. It doesn't really matter what genre you look into. I mean, you could go from like country, oh god, you could go from country to rap to metal to punk. You're always going to find a shitbag, but there's some shitbags that are a little more stinky than others, and it feels kind of weird, right? Do you have that friend that like is still devoted to Kanye? That's kind of weird to see, right? Or like, God, I've got a friend, and yes, if you're listening, dude, I'm sending out this straight to you specifically, and you know this. You're still listening to Travis Scott after that piss poor.
I just want to send out prayers to the.
Anyway, that's all to say. What do we do in this situation, right? Like, there's some pretty shitty people, but there's some very shitty people. Does that make sense? They could be racists, criminals, homophobes, kind of all of the above, usually in most cases. But what do we do? Let's say I'm a musician, right? My name is MCP Pants. Now, I'm pretty popular. I get a sizable following, and most people like me. Then one day I say some crazy shit on Twitter that pushes the bar a little too much, or I go on a talk show and say some crazy shit, or even worse, I actually do something criminal. Oh, fuck. Now there's people calling for my deplatforming. Well, what do? I mean, I don't do a damn thing, actually, because there's always going to be people who pull up, and I shit you not, will be like, yeah, I mean, his lyrics are literally about luring people and stealing their souls to power a giant drill that goes down to hell, but it's like not really that deep, you know? When in fact, I literally, not metaphorically, not rhetorically or poetically or theoretically, actually just do that shit on the DL.
I'm gay. Straight up.
And despite everything, you still see people like this. You probably have someone in your life that is like this, whether they're like, oh, I mean, it's not that deep, or like, I just don't give a shit really what they've done. I'm still gonna listen to their shit. Have some dignity. Really, what they're practicing is death of the author in its purest form. For those who don't know or have only vaguely heard the term, I'm talking about the 1967 essay written by Roland Barthes that talks about the idea of artistic liberty, arguing that readers, or in this case, listeners, have to separate the art from the artist and find value in the work even without the author. I can't even read Japanese. And this almost borderline apathetic mindset has been popping up a lot recently, especially given today's climate where it's like every other day we find out a musical talent has like some crazy skeletons in their closet. Like originally this video was going to be me spending the first half talking about like Death of the Author from the perspective of somebody who fully is like on board of it, but it's hard for me. Like, I get the general concept, right? But it's just, I don't think I can properly play devil's advocate for this because I don't fuck with that mindset, like, at all. That being said, I'm not really looking for, like, a debate or anything, but if you guys wanted to talk about it, if you guys were on that side of the argument, I'd love to hear your comments about it. But I guess, like, why does this shit even matter, right? By now, I think we all can confirm that we live in a pretty fucked up time, right? Like, it feels like everywhere we go, somebody on some part of the world's asking, hey, are we gonna fucking die tonight? And the news doesn't really do much to help that, except it always kind of confirms with fear-mongering, or we're just always feeling shitty is basically what I'm saying, right? So honestly, what a lot of people right now in this current moment would prefer to do is find something that helps them get away from it all, right? Could be whatever, a movie, show. Today we're talking about the music. So imagine you're like a Japanese salaryman or something, right? Your job's killing you. You live alone and you're 45 or something. And you get home from your job after a 14-hour workday and all you want to do is listen to your favorite artist, which happens to be the Smiths. But as you're about to bump The Queen is Dead for the 15th time this month, you see something that catches your eye. Morrissey, the band's frontman, is a crazy fucking big hit. Which, real quick, I just want to say, this is absolutely fucking bonkers that he's a headliner at Riot Fest this year, because, like, what the fuck is he doing at a punk fest with all the shit he's done and said? Beyond me. Anyway, you find out he's a bigot, and now you feel conflicted. On one hand, you thought you could relate to his lyrics and his bouts of depression, but on the other... Okay, this is literally a direct quote from him. Like, what are we doing? You see why it doesn't make sense to me anymore? Like, sure, maybe at some point you could relate to this person's lyrics or whatever, but if they're going on, like, public tirades about how, like... I'm not saying that out loud. Sure, maybe at some point you could have been able to relate to the artist's lyrics or whatever, but for me personally, it's just so crazy difficult to separate that, especially knowing they might have said some, like, crazy racist shit, or was just an actual goddamn criminal. Like, it could literally be my favorite fucking artist, and I'd treat it the same way. I'm immediately hitting the road. And I don't know, maybe it's like a pseudo-parasocial thing. It, to me, feels a little bit like a stab in the back, right? Like, you're being intentionally facetious, saying all these things about the political state of the world and what have you, and then only for you to do, like, a whole-ass WWE heel turn and be like, psych! I was fucking racist! We're in a world now where it's, like, super, and I mean, like, incredibly easy to give up and take what's easier. But I say to hell with that. It's cool to enjoy people's music, but I think releasing music and getting profit off of it comes with a responsibility. As much as I think you should never idolize the rich, it's a real thing that happens regardless. Because of the history of music and it existing for damn near as long as recorded history, people latch onto that shit, right? Like, they make their ideologies and build personalities around it. So if somebody turns out to be like a huge raving lunatic, unfortunately, there's always going to be that one guy that, like, comes to bat no matter what. And we see that all the time. And the more shitty artists that exist in the world, the more shitty people are going to show up trying to imitate their behavior. But I understand. Earworms exist, right? I mean, I'm not immune to them either. There's some songs by really shitty people that I still bump. However, there are ways we can go about this and still come out at least slightly a little better. One, we could wait until they're not able to profit off of this anymore. Usually, though, that would involve waiting until like a record company takes their assets or whatever, if it was like a legal case, or until they die, which doesn't happen a lot, but it can happen. Or option two.
There be treasure.
Whew. Much better. I'm sure you gathered by now the second option is not being a goddamn fucking landlubber. And I mean, it's not difficult to do either. 3-ish years ago, maybe, one of my friends for my birthday gave me a whole ass MP3 player that I think cost them like $20, maybe. And dude, there's like a whole secondhand market for that kind of shit. And you don't even really need that much to like go crazy with piracy and sailing the seas. Fucking, I have like a whole collection of CDs I got from like secondhand resale shops and shit that cost me like most of the times less than like $3. I got like a Yawning Man CD for 80 cents. And there's websites you can use too. I mean, I'm not a fucking snitch. Mama didn't raise no snitch, so I can't tell you those, but there's websites that you can find them easily about how to do like all that shit. There's YouTube to MP3, there's far more, and it's so easy. Even if you're like, oh well, I don't have the time, I don't know how to do it. Get away. I don't deal with landlubbers. I don't associate with landlubbers. You're watching Rivers of Samsara because you're smart. That's why. And I believe you could figure it out without people pointing in your direction what exactly to do. Because you could do it. And it's because it's so easy. It's so easy. And besides, you really want to be spending like $160 every year on Spotify? Are we being for real? Do you not value your wallet? Do you hate having money? This is the best way to have the best of both worlds, right? You can have the music that you want to listen to and not give them any money because they're horrible pieces of shit, likely. Ultimately, my goal is to make people who are a little apathetic about this whole kind of situation at least think. I'm not trying to change your mind, but at least think and consider, right? Like, I know I personally couldn't sleep at night if I knew I was actively giving money to like Morrissey or Jimmy Urine or some shit, right? I don't know. Anyway, that's the video. I'm sweating like a goddamn fucking pig in this goddamn pirate jacket thing. But I just really like wearing this thing, and I kind of wanted to do that, and I thought it would be funny. Hopefully, this little ditty, this little bout here, convinced you maybe to drop a like, a subscribe. Discord at 500. I know we're trying to get to 1,000 by the end of the year. That'd be really cool. It might be a little unrealistic, but god damn it, I'm gonna try. Discord at 500, I think. So, tell your friends, and I'll see you next time.